All right, rock and roll time. My purpose today is to encourage you to find your purpose, to mix it with passion and cultivate it every day from the time you get up to when you go to bed, and to draw inspiration just from that process alone, and to be able to encourage others to help transform our world together, because I think we all can agree that we can't do this alone. So to start, I ask you, why do you do what you do? And if that seems like a simple question, I want you to keep asking why, until you get to the very root of what motivates you day in and day out. Okay, so why do you do what you do is actually a social media meme, and I've heard people talk about social media memes during this conference. Ordinary people to extraordinary people have participated in this meme by simply answering the question on a piece of paper, taking a picture of themselves and sharing it online. Talk about such a simple, profound way to connect purpose and passion to inspire others. But individuals can do this, but so can organizations be inspired by the mix of purpose and passion. One such organization is To Write Love on Her Arms. Has anyone heard of this? Founded by youth out of Florida to support suicide prevention and recovery efforts. It is not a campaign, it is a movement. It is alive and growing. The passion of the people that they touch is resounding once you get connected with the organization. And this summer they asked two questions that I ask you now. What is your greatest fear, and what is your greatest dream? And I know that self-reflection can sometimes be scary because we have to make ourselves vulnerable, but I promise you that going through that process, you can find a lot of growth and really flourish at the end. So what inspires me, and that's people who connect passion and purpose. So I want to talk about a few. One is Emily Pilliton. Pilliton, at age 26, founded Project H Design. She moved to North Carolina's poorest county and helped transform the community, being convinced that design-centered solutions can change communities. So she has a TED Talk video. It's 20 minutes, so I can't recap it here, but I highly recommend that you watch it. It's a must-see video that I have all my students watch, just to get an idea that when you adopt a certain mentality, a certain attitude and perspective on life, that you can supersede a man-made concept of a career track and make your own way, built on creativity, innovation, and progress. So another person is Liz Forkin Bohannon. Liz and I actually went to graduate school, and I would try to sit next to her just to be in her presence. She's one of the most optimistic, positive people I know. Upon graduation, she took an internship in Uganda. She met a lot of women driven by purpose who knew their passion, but it was unattainable because they couldn't get access to education. So Liz, being a problem solver, jumped in and founded Seco Designs, which was recently named one of the top 5 social enterprises by Bloomberg Businessweek. With Seco, women can have a 9-month internship where they learn, grow, gain experience, and graduate. And then with Seco's help, can achieve a university education. To give you a glimpse of Liz's success, one of her first interns was valedictorian of one of the top universities at Uganda. So when purpose meets passion, it's contagious. Another person is Sean Almond. Almond had a full ride to the University of Notre Dame, but he forgot it all, moved to Bangladesh, and he uses web, video, and mobile technologies to give a voice to the voiceless. He wants to bring a new awareness to global poverty and to change different perspectives around it. So he works with various organizations, has a great impact, and lives his purpose every single day. So now I want to take you to Bentonville, Arkansas, because communities and groups of people can also unite around a shared purpose and vision. And Bentonville, inspired by one woman, has found a shared passion. And to give you a little bit of background before we play this video, this woman's husband, driven and inspired by his wife's 10-year fight with multiple sclerosis, started doing 5Ks and 10Ks, raising money on her behalf and in her honor, just driven by pure love. And it wasn't long until he did his first marathon, and now he's an amateur triathlete, having completed multiple Ironmans. And one day she woke up and said, I want to do that. You know, despite my circumstances, I want to be a triathlete. Can you help me make that happen? He said, No doubt about it. Let's do it. So he got some of his teammates together. They created a super sprint course, which is a 200-yard swim, a 6-mile bike ride, and a mile run. And so she trained for a little bit, and one morning woke up expecting that it would just be her and him doing the triathlon. And then this is what happened next. If we can go back a slide and then click on the video.
Grateful, thankful.
Jo Rampy's been battling MS for 10 years. She and her husband just recently decided they'd run a triathlon.
Prior to 3 weeks ago, I was ready to get in the water.
What she didn't know, her husband was planning on having a few friends show up. And thanks to Facebook and word of mouth, hundreds came out to Memorial Park in Bentonville for the event.
So I'm thrilled to be here today. More thrilled to have these people around me because it's very encouraging.
Rampy started out with the swimming, she went to biking, and now she's going to the running part of the triathlon. And crossing the finish line, words of encouragement for others battling the disease.
Don't underestimate what you can do. What you can do to influence others, to encourage others, and to be encouraged yourself. And my biggest lesson was learning to let that happen.
And in the process, inspiring others. Reporting for KNWA News, I'm Garrett.
Okay, so I practiced this a whole lot, so I wouldn't get emotional, but that's why I was a little shaky earlier, because Jo Rampy is now the CEO, the Chief Encouragement Officer of the Rampy MS Research Foundation, and you just met my mom. Thank you. And I know that she's watching remotely, actually, from Bentonville right now, and so I just kind of want to dedicate this talk to her, because everything I'm sharing with you is what she has taught me over the years, that when you realize that you have a purpose, and every one of you sitting in this room do, and the thing is that no one else can write your chapter in this story besides you. And once you realize that, and you combine it with your passion, amazing things can happen, and not just for you, but for those that you touch. And so that's where it all starts for me. My dad and I often talk about this concept of social change and how sometimes it just kind of seems so far away and so big that you just, as an individual, you're just not sure what your role is. And in his words, you know, he faces social change every day at the dinner table, sharing a meal with my mom. And when you stare purpose in the face long enough, you want to respond. And so this past year, my family and I, along with some amazing volunteers in Bentonville, have started our own nonprofit, which I just mentioned, the Rampy MS Research Foundation. We have partnered with the University of Arkansas, hosted a symposium on the state of MS research, and in 21 days from now, we are kicking off our inaugural event, the TriFest Forum S. It's a 3-day community-wide festival featuring 4 different triathlons, with pro triathlete participation in a number of different community-wide events. We expect over 500 race participants with just as many volunteers. So it's been an amazing, wonderful journey. And I know that some days at the end of the day, it can be kind of rough to keep going because life likes to intersect. And we all have rough mornings. So when I have a rough morning, I call my mom, and my rough mornings pale in comparison to her rough mornings. But she just reminds me to put my hand on my heart. And she asks, do you feel that? Are you listening? Can you hear it? Because that's your purpose calling. Don't give up. And so that's my message. Don't give up. Keep dreaming. Keep exploring. Keep pushing the boundaries. And keep moving because we need you. Thank you.